are 3 words to describe sexuality in Santa Barbara.
Everyone's really relaxed, and if we're talking about sexuality, everyone's really open about their sexuality.
3 words to describe sexuality. I don't know, available comes to mind.
Well, my family was incredibly repressed sexually, actually.
Yeah, that's such a hard question. 3 words, you know, because it's always kind of different, you know? Every girl. She's passionate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Anything
so that's
else?
1. It's fun. And it's not quick.
Malika and I just got off the plane, and I was actually pretty exhausted because I think I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. I packed that morning, and there's the whole process of starting the trip together and having to get the car and having to make sure that all of the luggage is there and trying to make sure that it all fits and picking out the car and finding the hotel and all of that. So it just kind of started, like the road trip started. Wham, you step off the plane and there we were. Sex on the road, about to begin. Sex on the tarmac even.
Santa Barbara was a city that I think initially I drove into and thought, wow, this like city has it all together, like lots of shopping, really manicured lawns, like houses were totally put together. And once you spend a little bit of time, you realize it's a city like any other city. It has problems, it has folks getting pregnant, it has drug use, it has discrimination. So, you know, I mean, it was kind of nice to see that side, not just to see what people wanted me to see.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Natalie Strapacci, and I'm the co-chair of Vox Voices for Planned Parenthood on campus here at UCSB.
And I'm Fran Lincoln. I'm also a co-chair at Vox. And what we do on campus is we're kind of the voice of Planned Parenthood in Santa Barbara, and we bring a lot of materials and events to UCSB to let people know about all kinds of reproductive rights and healthcare issues.
Vox is really important to us because this is an outlet for us. It's like an avenue we can give back to our peers, our community. We're able to interact with people that we normally wouldn't interact with, and just getting like the word out there in education, that's probably like the most important part. And it's like a great opportunity to do that.
And it's really important because once you start doing tabling all the time and making announcements in your classes and things like that, you realize how many people don't actually know what's going on with all the laws, policies, even with things like contraceptive use and emergency contraception, abortion rights, things like that. So it really opens up a lot of people's minds to that.
If you're a student, you should check out to see if your college or university has a Vox program. And if they don't, you should contact your local Planned Parenthood and start one.
Every community that Nathan and I traveled to was touched by HIV and AIDS. And Pacific Pride Foundation was one of the agencies that we visited in Santa Barbara. They provide a number of services for folks living with HIV. They were really sweet, warm, friendly people, and we had a great time visiting them. We're here with Mariela,
Yes.
And she's going to give us a little bit of a tour of this organization and tell us a little bit about the work that they do.
I serve as the Director of Counseling and Recovery Services, so I would say primarily my position is dealing with the community who has mental health needs. So anyone who comes in who's depressed, maybe dealing with issues of sexuality, anxiety, substance abuse. And we see folks on an individual basis, couples, groups, whatever folks need.
Yeah.
We kind of try to make it as comfortable as possible. We've got computers available to the community. Anyone can come in and use the computers at any time, check out any books, and folks just come in and borrow what they need and, you know, hopefully find the resources they need here too.
It's free condoms and lube, but I don't see any lube. I think lube's a hot commodity. I don't think there's enough free lube places. Oh wow, look at this.
So part of our services, our HIV AIDS case management program is to provide a food pantry for our clients and their families. And they do their own shopping, so it's like you pick what you want. If you don't like Cocoa Puffs, you get Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
So it's all good. We don't make up bags for people. Our clients really, I think, benefit from this service. And there's also a nutritionist that comes once a month who works with our HIV positive clients to just kind of make sure they're really taking good care of themselves. So.
HIV/AIDS is not going anywhere, and local AIDS organizations need volunteers, people to help out, people to donate, people to get involved. So find out what's happening in your community and get involved. We're talking to the young professionals here in Santa Barbara, and I gotta say, they're pretty cool. Cool group of people, and kind of fun, you know, like wine and sexuality issues and reproductive rights all together with a bunch of great people.
We are a group of 20s and 30s aged folks that are kind of looking just for ways to socialize and engage, and also happen to be supporters of Planned Parenthood. And this is just our way to keep this age group informed of issues affecting reproductive rights and reproductive health issues. And we meet the first Friday of every month. We have happy hour for a couple hours, and then we bring some kind of action to the meeting. So a lobbying letter, a script for activists to call their elected official, whatever it is that's kind of the hot topic of the month. And it's a great way to keep people our age engaged and focused, but also just have a fun social time on a Friday night. So it's been great.
Young professionals groups seem to be kind of a fairly new program, but a lot of Planned Parenthoods have adopted them. It's a great way to get young people involved on certain issues. It's also a great way to get young people as early donors and fundraisers for the organizations. And Santa Barbara had a pretty cool, hip group of young professionals.
And I'm really delighted that there are other young people who are willing to put time aside to do phone calls, to write letters, and to get involved, because it's really about our future and about a place in which we honor the dignity and autonomy of every person. So I would really like to encourage more people to get involved, because this is a place where we can all speak our minds from a place of knowing that we would want the right to choose yes or no on such an important decision as to bring a child into the world.
So we're here in Goleta,
which is right next to Santa Barbara. Sorry, I'm just flexing.
And the beach is right down there. We just looked at it. We're gonna be surfing in just a minute. I probably will just be like this.
Malika has the distinction of riding the wave the longest. I have the distinction of attempting and failing the most number of times to actually stand up on the board.
But we aren't going to be too hard on ourselves, as this was the first time that either one of us had even been on a surfboard. Our guide and instructor for the day was Scott McCann, who's the Vice President of Education for Planned Parenthood in Santa Barbara. Scott's a lifelong surfer, and he had some thoughts on the connection between surfing and sex.
To me, they have a lot in common because they're both natural things, and there's a lot of energy involved in sex and surfing. There's the rush, the thrill of getting a good ride or having sex. The sensuality of, you said it, laying on the board and just feeling good. Maybe the wetsuit's like a giant condom, I don't know. But,
we feel safe in
here.
Yeah,
yeah, it protects you, it keeps you warm. And then being in touch with nature, like the creative aspects of sex and surfing, you know. So those are just some of them. Getting tubed, you know, there's tubes involved with sex, so it's sort of a stretch, but there are some connections.
Yeah.
So next stop is Las Vegas. Are you ready for Vegas, Malika?
I think so. I hope so. It's a long drive, but I think we can handle it.
See you in Vegas.